Hello, everybody. Welcome to my presentation on gentle farming. And what that could mean for the future of agriculture. I think there's a question and answer facility on the program, and if you have any questions or comments you'd like to make, please type them in there, and I will look at them later and come back to you. So my background: I'm Thomas Gent. I founded Gentle Farming. I'm the fourth generation on our family arable farm in South Lincolnshire, on the very flat fens. We've been farming regeneratively here for around 12 years, and we actually developed the weavings GD drill on our farm. So the goals of gentle farming is to allow farmers to access payments for environmental and soil improvements, and to build a brand around regenerative agriculture in the UK, hopefully to bring premiums for the products that farmers produce, as well as the payments for carbon offsets, etc. So why is this such important at this time? Climate has become one of the headlines in the world, but why? And why are we having this conference, really? Agriculture is one of the most important and indispensable industries, but lots of pressure has been placed on it by the government and corporations to be improved and to improve quickly. I think that's because agriculture does affect all of our lives, and it affects everyone in the globe. So we have a leading role to play here if we step up and take it. But the key bit really is that farmers do actually have the opportunity to be part of the solution, and as we can see here, this is IPCC information, and it shows that we can actually sequester carbon into the soil, which is obviously part of this conference. So the background on gentle farming and about me. So back in the first lockdown, really, I started to look into soil carbon and soil carbon offsetting, because it was a very hot topic and still is. At that time, I sort of set myself the challenge to see if I could sell the carbon offsets from our farm during the first lockdown, mostly because I was quite bored and I wanted to set myself a challenge. But by doing that and talking to people and etc., it's developed and shaped into what it is now, which is a project where we are soon going to be able to offer farmers across the country the ability to get certificates and payments for their soil carbon. So as we can see here, this is a bit of a timeline of what I've did and how I've got to where we are today. There's a bit of obviously extra to add on to this from November to now, and that's the sort of bit we're going to go through at the minute. So gentle farming now. We are currently launching the UK's first ever fully certified soil carbon offsetting scheme, but we want to focus on much more than that. We want to focus on the full story of regenerative agriculture and the fact that regenerative agriculture can offer much, much more than just the carbon. There's all the other benefits from water quality to biodiversity need to be shouted about, really, because I feel they are just as important, if not more important, than the carbon. And our mission is to sell premium soil carbon offsets with the full story of regenerative agriculture behind them, and to hopefully in the future be able to help farmers sell other products under the gentle farming brand for a premium. So now we have partnered with Commodity Carbon, which are a soil carbon certification program, mostly developed currently in Eastern Europe, and it's currently being brought to the UK under the gentle farming brand. Regenerative agriculture is a win-win for the farmers and for society and for the environment. Using our systems and certification process, it looks likely that we can sequester 5 tons of CO2 per hectare. And if we add into this the story around regenerative agriculture, we feel we can get an extra premium for these carbon credits, looking to go £30+ a tonne at a minimum. And all these other benefits are hugely important, and we're currently looking into ways of how we quantify and prove these other benefits to come along with the story of the carbon. So what this current carbon offsetting market is looking for, they want to find greenhouse gas emissions reduction programs that happen today, and they want to be part of developing future net zero programs. And this is important because it means that we can be part of that solution. We can be part of how agriculture can transform into the future as we try and meet those NFU net zero targets. So on the right hand side, that just gives you some ideas of the rough practices and the rough amount of sort of sequestration we can get per hectare using those practices. It changes obviously very much depending on the soil types, the pH levels of the soil and the organic matters in those soils. So the greenhouse gas, so how we are quantifying this, the commodity carbon platform, as you can see, is based on IPCC guidelines, then the Cool Farm Tool Alliance, and then commodity carbon's obviously added verification, independent third-party verification to that, and using satellite technology to verify it. So this is just a little bit of how the process could look for the farmer. As you can see there, before seeding, farmer signs up and adds the strategies to see the potential earnings he can get. I feel this is why this platform is so exciting, because farmers up and down the country, well, my dad is obviously signed up to the platform, the first one, and he can now go on that platform and make decisions of what to do in the field depending on how much carbon that is going to allow him to sell at the end of the year. So he will be sitting there and deciding whether to go and spread this tank of fertilizer, for example, and he will be able to see on the system how much impact that will have on his carbon emissions and on his carbon sequestration, and that will hopefully it tells him that he shouldn't go and spread that fertilizer because it will be more economical to get the carbon credits. But yeah, that can be part of the decision making of a farmer on the ground, and that instant feedback he can get by putting numbers into the commodity carbon system is really, really important. He uses obviously advisor support, and then at the end of the harvest season, he's adopted all those methods and he's removed all those greenhouse gases. A third-party verification takes process using satellites, etc. And then we obviously get presented with some carbon certificates, which we can sell to the market. And then hopefully, obviously, he carries on the process. We go into year 2, and he makes further improvements, adds further cover cropping, etc. And he can actually get payments for that straight away. So the targets, the buyers that we are looking to target inside the food industry is obviously very important, because they are, they want to make their supply chains much more environmentally friendly and try and hit those net zero targets. But I think the exciting thing about this opportunity is, for the first time ever, farmers can directly sell a product that they are making to outside money, and outside money, like money outside of agriculture, can come into agriculture and help improve really the landscape and the well-being of society. But we have obviously requirements for buyers, and they're pretty similar across all industries. They want low reputational risk, high traceability. They want nature-based certificates, and buying local offsets is really, really exciting. But we obviously we have established an ESG screening framework, which means we will be targeting buyers who we think are taking effect to try and reduce their carbon emissions before they offset it. We do not want to work with organizations that are just paying for offsetting without taking any responsibility for themselves. Offsetting should always be the last resort, and they should use that on emissions that they cannot reduce at the present moment. Yeah, so that was pretty quick. Thanks for taking the time to listen to my presentation. I'd really like to talk to you all. Please ask lots of questions. I'm much better at questions than I am at presentations. So yeah, it'll be great to hear from you.